Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omni video. Today we are taking on Dare to Defy Reprise Stage 13. So this is the newest stage. I think it just dropped yesterday. And I'm kind of doing the same technique I've done for the last couple of fights, which is let's just ride two really good reusable characters, and then slot 3 is just whatever to deal with the fight, right? So Auron and Setzer, that's kind of who I've been using on these. I feel like they're just like so solid, so good. And then in my third slot, I'm just using a maybe non-reusable character, but they're going to kind of fit the mechanics a little bit more. So, and what I've found is these fights are actually pretty easy for the most part. So I think you don't really have to always deal with the mechanics. I don't think I've ever so far had to actually cancel a force time, but I always bring a character that can just in case, right? So in this instance, what they were calling for was they wanted a force that would, and I believe ice damage is like one of the things. I think this is elemental lockout, and I think ice and fire might be the two you can use. I don't remember what they were, but I remember ice was one of the ones you could use, and they wanted you to deal damage to the enemy while they had like a level debuff on, so it's some type of debuff that levels up. So to me, this fight kind of screamed Kurasame. So I brought Kurasame in because he's got that really good debuff that levels up, that does the HP damage up. So I figured they would have that on, and then I could do a Kurasame force time, and I could cancel if I needed to, right? Like I said, the way this fight went, I didn't really ever have to cancel a force, especially because I'm using boosted characters, right? You see our force gauge starts off pretty high, and even without a force charger, like these enemies haven't been ramping very quickly. So what's happening in these fights is I just beat them to their force and I kill them in one force time. So that's pretty much what happened. But it's fun. It's like a good excuse just to bring in other characters. And if I wanted to, I totally could just not use Auron and Setzer and just use a more variety of characters. But that's kind of, I guess, my way of like saving characters on the fight, just because I don't know how hard the last ones are going to be. Just to keep using reusable characters, right? And like these little side pieces, like, I use Xiii on the last one, Kurasame on this one. These aren't characters where it's going to be like, oh my god, I need to go unlock them for another fight. They're just there to meet mechanics of these other fights. So I still have like Astos available, right? Like a lot of these really big hitters available, like Aerith, like all these top tier units. Beatrix. I've got all these good characters available. So once we get to the last fight, then I'll go all out, and maybe I won't use like reusable characters. I'll just use whatever I want. Maybe we'll celebrate the last one with a huge Astos blow up or something and just go crazy, depending on what the fight is, right? But I think the way I've seen this Reprise, I think it is still good, fun content. I think it's just like a very watered down Dare to Defy that's a little bit like, not a little bit, I would say it's a lot easier than Dare to Defy. But that's good, because there's a lot of players that, they struggle with Shinryu and stuff, and I'm a player that I don't always want to look at everything through just like my viewpoint as a veteran player. I really like to see what the game's doing for all players, and I think this is a good event that just is nice for all players. So I definitely can see the good in this event, right? So yeah, we're almost to a force time. So what we kind of do here is we got the enemies frozen down, so I know I'm not going to take damage. That's the other thing with Setzer that's so good too. Like the combination of Setzer and Auron is going to just make you feel so safe, because Auron is tanking for you, but then Setzer's also putting freeze down. So if there were a really nasty attack coming in, maybe an all attack, you're still going to be like really safe, right? Alright, so we're at 100%, and I'm thinking what I want to do is I want to do Auron's Force. I really enjoy Auron's Force, so I figured let's go in, let the enemies attack, let's do some counter damage, and just see how the fight goes. These enemies are, I guess we got them down to 90% already, so yeah, they're not the tankiest, but they're also not like as squishy as some of the other fights in here, so we'll see how it goes down. Also, we've got Reno dropping tonight. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to live stream or not. I haven't quite decided. I'm going to cover Reno tonight either way. I just haven't decided if I kind of want it to be like a lighter night where I just do my videos quick and hop off, or if I want to, spend 2 to 3 hours with you guys in live stream. We'll see. Haven't quite decided. It might be a last minute thing where I just post it. We'll see how the night goes. Part of it is like, next week is my last week off of summer break before I go back to school. So there's a part of me that's like, I gotta try not to like stay up crazy late every night. I kind of gotta slowly get myself back to a normal sleeping schedule. So that's the other reason that I'm kind of tempted to just maybe do the... And Reno, I don't think the Reno banner is as hype as other ones. So I think it could be a good one to just maybe record the videos quick and see. But I don't know. I know people would show up if I live stream, so I might do it anyways. We'll let that be a surprise for tonight. Who knows? If we may or may not be live streaming. We'll just have to wait and see. Alright, so Kurasame dropping the Ice Reapers down. And I do really like Kurasame. He's a character where, like, I wasn't willing to go in and, like, pity the BT. But he's also a character that's, like, I really wanted the BT. And if I had gotten it, I probably would have greened it. And Kurasame's red, too, which is, like, my first crystal color. So I think he has a lot of value for me. And he's really good here, FR only. I do have an Ultima weapon on him, but I think Kurasame's ice follow-ups are very strong. And they work really well with, you know, anything off-turn works great. With force time in general. Because, like, all those ticks just really add up over time. Alright, so these dragons are about 80%. We're on turn 8, so I'm thinking we'll probably get it done in one, but I don't know at this point. But I'm like, yeah, what I decided to do was I was just going to go really heavy in Echo with everybody, but I was going to save one Kurasame force just in case. So if we didn't finish them off, then I knew like they would probably get to their force before me, and then I knew I would have the ability to cancel it. You never want to leave yourself in a spot where like you go all out and use all your Echo and then not win, and then not have a force to deal with their mechanics, or just not have enough force to like get damage in time. So if you're not 100% sure you're going to win, I always save one force time. Because even like one force time without Echo, like to finish off a boss, like you can still get a lot of damage off, right? As opposed to just like trying to beat them down without Echo. It can take forever on some of these bosses. Alright, so Kurasame, we're using one Echo here, but we're definitely not going to use two. We're going to save that other one just in case. Unless I get to the point where I know for sure we're going to win, then I'll pop the second Kurasame Echo. But until I know for sure, I'm definitely like kind of going to hold on to one. But yeah, Kurasame putting up some nice numbers, right? I'm like, yeah, we can just jackpot here. That's fine. Drop the FR down. I do believe this also refreshes like the rainbow numbers on everybody, which is very good. I believe it gives that same buff as the LD, which is nice. Alright, and you can see we're at 581, so we're getting up there for sure. This is why Echo's so good. You can just get the gauge so high with a really high force turn count. You know, and Auron, we'll keep those counter damage coming in. We'll take those 20% all day. All day for sure. But yeah, I'm excited for Reno because I think the BT effect is going to be so good. Like, I think Reno's going to be really popular in dual runs, where you just do, like, Reno and Rubicante, or, like, Reno and Auron, like, stuff like that. I think it's going to be really popular. And I think Reno in general is just going to be a really fun character to have, just to be able to delay my own characters. We're going to redo his guide tonight, and then we're going to do one for Vincent, because Vincent's getting a big-time upgrade here, so we'll have to redo his guide as well. I'm definitely not going to chase Vincent BT. If I get it for free, that'll be cool, but to be honest, I'm not going to green it. I don't have the materials, and I got to save my materials because I want to green Reno. And then there's going to be more characters coming, right? So I got to make sure. I don't want to keep putting myself in a situation where I have to keep buying these BT packs because they are kind of expensive, right? And your boy can't be throwing down that every single time because I want to green all the BTs. So either way, I would be happy if I get Vincent BT, but I would probably just sit on it, to be honest. I don't think I'm going to green it. And even Reno, I'll have to check. I don't even know if I got the stuff to green Reno, but that's the whole point, is I want to have his BT. And greening it's pretty important on him, because he's the type of character where you probably don't want to use his BT phase. Although, in the type of team comps you're using, you could if you really had to, because you're not really, like, those type of teams, you're not really trying to do, like, a BT and, like, be very offensive. You're just want the enemies to attack you a bunch and let your off-turn take them out. So, we'll have to see. But yeah, I think Reno with, like, just a good tank, or, like, maybe a 3-person team with, like, core, could do really, really well because you get extra off-turn. So, like, Reno, core, and then, like, tank. That could be a really good team, I think. But yeah, Reno I don't think is a character that's, like, a must-puller that everyone needs to get. I think if you just really like doing the defense comps, then he's a good pickup. And then after Reno, I think we've got Jill coming. And Jill, I think I am going to pull for tickets, but I'm not going to, like, go for BT on her. We'll just get her built up to FR and have her as a nice, fun little side FR character. Once again, it's just resource management. And at some point, right, like, I can't just summon and, like, max out everybody, right? So anyways, guys, there you go. We just, you know, did a Auron FR, let all the off-turn take care of it. Didn't really see any mechanics that were tough to deal with. We never saw their force time. We still had 3 turns left on our force. Took it all pretty easily. So anyways, guys, let me know how you handled this fight. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.